Chris Smith, first of all, let's just deal with how this thing is being administered. My understanding is that there are so-called strategic coordination groups, one in the southeast, one in the southwest, but no single person is in charge of them. How's that?
No, in each area where there's a flooding emergency, there is what's known as a gold control. That brings all the emergency services and the Environment Agency and others together. That is the body that coordinates exactly what should be going on where, and that is always the body that is in control of any individual area where there's a flooding emergency. And that's been happening in all of these various areas.
But when we pressed today to find out the identity of the man or woman in charge of each of these groups, we could not get it. They could not tell us. It seems to be no single person involved in actually running these two groups.
There will be. It's usually the Chief Constable or the Assistant Chief Constable. It's the police who lead on gold control in any flooding emergency. We form part of that process. Other emergency services and other public services form part of it. But it's normally the police who are in charge overall.
But you see, the thing is, strategic decisions have made in the build-up to this flooding disaster, and that is about Environment Agency leadership, or at least somebody's leadership, and we cannot find out in either of these areas who is actually running them, and you don't know either.
Well, as I say, there will be a gold control in charge. It will be being run by the Chief Constable or Assistant Chief Constable, and that will be true in each individual area where there is a flooding emergency. That's always the procedure. It always has been. It works well.
Well, now, we're standing here in the Thames Valley. Clearly, this was forecast, but it doesn't seem that the preparations were that strong. We've got a volunteer here, that's one. There are plenty of those around. But actually, in terms of turnout by the officials, and I must tell you, we're right underneath the Heathrow flight path, so it's right at the bottom of the Heathrow runway. There really does seem to have been a lack of preparation and a lack of leadership in the preparation.
All the necessary warnings were put in place. We told everyone what was likely to happen. Our staff have been out helping in many different parts of the Thames Valley. We, for example, were assisting in Datchet last night. I'm told that our staff will be going in together with the Army to Wraysbury this evening to help there. This is happening, of course, all the way along the Thames, but our staff are out there doing their bit to try and help people facing the most terrible circumstances. The impact of flooding on any individual person and their home and their family is absolutely terrible, and the more help we can possibly give, the better.
Right. Just very briefly, Chris Smith, the Prime Minister was invited to give you his support today, and he was extremely ambivalent.
Well, I think what he said was we need to carry on doing the job, and that's precisely what I intend to do.